Good morning, YouTube family. It's your boy. I'm coming here with another video for you as I'm on my walk. I told you guys I was walking every single morning. And so while I was on my walk, the topic of elevation requires separation came to my mind. And I want to tell you guys my story because I feel like I've already gone through this process in my life where I realized that I was gonna have to let go of some things, lose some things, have a little less money, be a little less comfortable, get away from people that I love, get away from people that I've known all my life. And that experience is what propelled me to be in a position to create a new life for myself, right? So elevation requires separation. Sometimes the people who are around us right now are the exact people who are keeping us down at a low level. And what ends up happening is sometimes it's the people that we love the most who are doing the most to keep us down at a low level with them. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying to you. And so sometimes God will require that you separate yourself from everyone so that you can have a bird's eye view and you can see clearly what is going on around you so that you can position yourself to be elevated to a new higher level. Because if the people who you hang out with right now were the people who are going to help you be a millionaire, who are going to help you become more successful, who are going to put you in a better position, they would have already done it. And so with every new level, God requires a higher level of sacrifice where we have to let go of things that we love and cherish in order to reach a new height. But a lot of the times, some people don't understand the sacrifice portion of the journey. Sometimes people don't understand the part of the journey where you give up a business that's making $500,000 a year and you go back to zero because you know that God has a new business opportunity for you. God has a new mission for your life, and he will replenish that 50,000 a month that you were making. He might double that to 250,000, but he said, I need you to be willing to be a little bit uncomfortable for me. Can you get uncomfortable for me? Would you be willing to give up a little luxury for a couple months so I can put you on a new path that's going to give you greater and allow you to reach new heights of your destiny? Right? Some of us are meant to do great things, but what's holding us back is what is going to happen. What is our friends going to think if we decide that, we're going to take a new route? We get afraid of failure. We get afraid of success because if we're afraid of success, that means that we might have to let go of mom or dad. We might have to let go of auntie. We might have to let go of my cousin. I might have to let go of my sister. I might have to let go of my girlfriend if I want to reach a new height. Elevation requires separation. People feel this, but yet, like when people say it, it's one of those cliche sayings now where it sounds good to say, but it doesn't feel good to live. It doesn't feel good when you're separated from everyone that you know and love because you're trying to do something greater. Because a lot of the times, people can't watch you go all the way to the top. The spirit of envy, the jealousy, right, of being close to you while you're reaching a new height is too much. People around you, they'll try to sabotage your success because they're too close to your process. Let me say that again. They will sabotage your success because they're too close to your process. Y'all don't hear me. When people get too close, they're allowed access to your process. Right? They're dealing with all their own personal feelings, right? Personal shortcomings. And you being in a friendship or connection with someone, that doesn't prevent them from having those same spirits, from having those same challenges in their own personal life as it pertains to their character. There is no one who is without character flaws. So knowing this, we have to be willing to close everybody out from what we're doing. We have to be willing to take ourselves into a quiet place. We have to be willing to be comfortable in isolation so that God can give us new information, new DNA downloads, and can position us in new circumstances that are going to take us to where he sees us being, sees us growing, sees us doing. And sometimes he wants us to separate ourselves so that we can see who we really are. A lot of the times, because of who we're friends with, we don't have a clear picture on who we are. We forgot who we are because we're too busy trying to fit into a crowd of people with a certain with certain beliefs and certain habits and certain ideologies around life. And sometimes God wants to expose to you what's in you. That's why most people are afraid of being alone, because if you were alone with no television to distract you, because that's why they call it television, because it tells a vision. For people who don't have their own vision, they watch a lot of television so someone can tell them a vision to have, right? If you had to turn that television off and sit with yourself in no company, you would start to discover those ugly things about you that you don't like. You would start to remember the horrible things that you've done to other people that have been sitting in the back of your consciousness, but you've been able to avoid dealing with those things merely because you've been in the company of other people who are validating who you are. And God doesn't want to validate who you are. He wants to refine who you are. So whether you're supposed to be a musician, an artist, that separation puts you in a position where now you are forced to look at the real you. You are forced to look at yourself for who you really are, right? And see your own personal character. Your fears will be exposed and brought to the surface, right? When you get into a position where you've been separated from the group of people that make you feel comfortable, who validate you. Elevation requires separation. Sometimes that separation, although painful, is only put in place to protect you from people that you love who would otherwise hurt you. But God has his hand on you, so God doesn't allow those people's ill will towards you to take you off the path of where he wants you to be. Sometimes we don't even know how God has protected us. We just know that we haven't been in danger. We just know that everything has been going as planned and as promised. And so sometimes God will separate you from your friends so that you can see who your friends really are. Sometimes God wants you to not have money because he's planning on dropping a big blessing on you. God might have a big bag lined up for you, but he needs you to get away. He needs you to get away from your friends. He needs you to get away from your family members before he drops that bag on you. Because he knows that your family, your friends, they're going to be plotting on your bag. So a lot of the times we don't see that the separation is a protective mechanism coming in divine planning. So don't be afraid of the separation. What I realized is that I remember when I was reading a book, 48 Laws of Power, it talked about how too much circulation makes the price go down. Being too easily accessible makes people think less of you. And as horrible as that sounds, that is the natural that's the natural order of the supply and demand of energy. See, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience, and if you are a part of this 5D club that I've been talking about for the last couple of videos, what you'll understand is, although people see a three-dimensional projection of who you are a spirit, a soul being that has traveled into this dimension to have an experience, to have a human experience. So when your spirit becomes too accessible, people start to think less of you because they don't think much of themselves, you see? So they figure, since they don't think much of themselves, if you're hanging around them all the time, you must not think much of you either. Hello. Hello. Elevation requires separation. In order to separate the mice from the men, right? They want to see that you can survive without the group, without the group's validation, without the group's support, without the group's ideology, without the group's protection, without the group's finances. And what elevates you is the strength that comes with standing on your own 2 feet. Most people can't even feed themselves without their boss. Most people do not know how to create something of value and distribute it in the real world in exchange for money. They keep us in these systems of dependence. They keep us thinking that there's something about their system or their organizations that we need to be a part of in order for us to succeed at a high level. And that's the trick of the enemy. The devil wants you to believe that you can't survive without him. The devil wants you to believe that all of your blessings are coming from a darker place instead of a lighter place. Not knowing that you don't have to beg for money. You don't have to practice being great at sales. You don't have to do all of these different things in order for your business, your idea, your artwork, your creativity to provide you with the lifestyle that you want. And all God is saying to you is that he needs you to just be willing to separate for a moment. Can I just talk to you by myself for a moment? Will you let God just talk to you by himself with no distractions? And what you'll realize is the more you separate, the greater your faith will become in God, because you'll start to see that God has already endowed you with everything that you need in order to be a success. Everything that you need is already coming from source. How you doing? I'm doing well, my friend. Have a good one. Yeah, I see her every single morning. She be riding her bike as she's leaving work. And I always holler at her. Whenever I see my folks out here, I always give them a holler. But elevation requires separation. So like I was saying before, if you want to increase your value, spend some time alone for the rest of 2023. Miss a few dinner parties in 2023. Miss the Christmas party, the Thanksgiving party. This Friday night, when you're thinking about going out to that bar with the common person, because the common man this Friday night, he's getting ready to go spend 50% of what he's earned in the last 2 weeks drinking. He's going to drink it away at the bar because he's content with being average. He's content with being a loser. If you want to separate yourself and you're ready to elevate into a high level of achievement, you need to get away from people who have loser habits. Hello, church. Elevation requires separation. If you don't separate yourself from that which is average, you can never be great. Because great don't hang out with average, okay? So as we move into October, what I want you guys to do is I want you to increase the value of your presence through absence. Don't be afraid to be a little absent this fall. Stop letting every time somebody needs something that you don't got to show up. You have to hold people accountable to developing and growing on their own. And the more a group of people buy into this idea of constantly babying each other, constantly impeding each other's development, sharing each other's bad habits, sometimes you just need to be alone so that you can see your true self. A lot of people don't know who they truly are. Because most people are followers. Most people are not leaders. So most people are just doing what everyone around them is doing. If there was no one around them, what would they do? If there was no one around you, what would you do? I want you to think about that today. But again, that's the important part of separation. It's the discipline and the growth that comes from it. So I'm getting ready to end this walk, but I was just wanted to go on a quick rant and talk about how elevation requires separation. I hope that if in the least you got from this video, I hope that you're just inspired to spend some time alone this winter and Give God an opportunity to reveal to you who you really are, what you really want, where you're really going. And I believe that some great things will come if you spend a little time doing that this winter. I'm gonna be shooting another vlog here. I'm getting ready to go to the gym now. So as I'm doing that, I want to wish you guys a great rest of your day. Make today the best day of the year, okay? And I'm gonna see you guys on the next video. I appreciate you if you've been with me during this whole video, for taking your time out to watch this video, to watch me, to just have a little conversation this morning and get each other fired up so that we can go out there and be the best version of ourselves that we can be. Because the only standard you should hold yourself to is not to just be the best. We're not trying to be better than anybody. We're just trying to be better than who we were yesterday. And if we're better than who we were yesterday, then we have won the day. We've done our job if we're just better than us. Okay, guys? So be better than you were yesterday. And I'm gonna talk to you guys on the next YouTube video in the next couple of hours, okay? Have a blessed day. Peace and blessings. See ya.